Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for Installment of Scott Selections here for Tuesday, October 25th. Before getting today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in the NFL with Cairo Santos under 1.5 made extra points at minus 120 on BetMGM. We dared the Bears offense to do something, and they did. They scored 33 points. New England's defense really couldn't stop the run the entire game. Chicago's offensive line dominated, and as a result, the Bears scored several touchdowns and kicked several extra points. Picked up a loss there. Look for a bounce back winner here on Tuesday. And for today's play of the day, going back to the NBA, looking at a game between the Mavericks and the Pelicans taking place at around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this matchup, going to take the road team in this one. Going to take the Mavericks minus 4.5 at minus 110 on FanDuel. Time recording of midnight Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like the Mavericks minus 4.5 in this spot. First reason to go through the injury report, we have a lot of potential players not playing for New Orleans, and Dallas is fully healthy. To go through the actual injury report, Brandon Ingram, who's averaging 22 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game, did suffer a concussion in the last game, and he is in concussion protocol. He has already been ruled out, so he will not be playing in this game. Arguably, New Orleans' best offensive player, and he will not be in the lineup. And then you have Zion Williamson, who was the biggest question mark entering the season, and assuming he would stay healthy, New Orleans loved their chances of having a great year. The problem is Zion did get injured last game. I wouldn't say it was a serious injury, but he was going for a layup or a dunk, and he kind of got undercut, and he ended up falling pretty hard on his hip, and is currently questionable as a result. Now, Zion could play, but based on the injury history and just how careful the organization's been with his injuries in the past, I'm not so certain he's going to play in this matchup. And for his stats, he's averaging 22 points per game and 6.7 rebounds per game. So there's a really good chance that New Orleans will be missing its top 2 offensive players in this game. And I do think as a result, it will be tough for the Pelicans to keep up on the scoreboard when you're relying on McCollum and maybe a little bit more Devontae Graham. And you also have Larry Nance, who's got no real offensive talent, Valanciunas, who's a very good center. But the point is, I do think New Orleans should be very compromised offensively for this game. And you have to wonder about the defensive end because Luka is one of the best players in the league, and you wonder who would be matched up on him. Most people would say Herb Jones, even though he gives up about 30 pounds in the matchup. The problem is Herb Jones is also injured. He hurt his knee in the last game, and he is New Orleans' best defensive player by far. So there's a very good chance that New Orleans will be missing its top 2 offensive players and its best defensive player for this game. And as a result, I do think Dallas should end up closing a lot higher than 4.5. Even if Zion is playing and Herb Jones is not, I still think Luka should absolutely cook this team. And we saw them destroy the Grizzlies by 41 points in their last game. And Memphis is a very solid basketball team. But Dallas probably should be 2-0. Blew that massive lead against Phoenix into the season opener. But they've looked good so far this season. Christian Wood's been a really solid player off the bench. And I do think as a result, Dallas has the depth that New Orleans used to have a luxury in. Not anymore because they might be missing a lot of players. But with New Orleans missing potentially 3 of its most important players on the roster and Dallas being healthy, I do think this line should probably jump up a lot higher than it is now. Plus, to go through some trends, Dallas has traveled well here in years past. The Mavericks are 5-1 ATS in the last 6 meetings in New Orleans. But the handicap in this matchup is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to back the much healthier team with the best player on the court by a wide margin against an injury-riddled team that should struggle to guard him and really struggle to score offensively without some of their main players in the lineups. Play that once again here for Tuesday, October 25th is going to be on the Mavericks minus 4.5 and minus 110 on FanDuel. Bye, everyone.